Hey, what's going on guys? It's Toxic Roxy here and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today, we are going to be playing Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. If you remember in the last video, My Hero Mini Stories number 3, I mentioned this game was coming out soon, and it was announced like the day before I recorded that video, and it came out in on the last day of June. But here we are nearly a month later. I'm finally being able to play it for you guys. Also, we have some lightning and thunder going on outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background, but just bear with me. So we're going to be playing this game today, and you know what? Enough explaining, we're just going to get right into it. We had life events going on, and that's why we couldn't play around in this game. Okay. No, we're not going to do anything that contains spoilers. I already know a fair bit about this game, but I'm still going to try and have a fun little experience with this. Especially since now I'm playing it for you guys. I know not a lot of people watch these videos, but if you do, please leave in the comments. Just say, like, I watched, or I'm subscribed, something like that. Just tell me if you watch these videos, because it really does help. It really makes me, like, know if you're watching these videos or not. Because I count the views, and I see that, and I'm like, that's cool. Anyway, we need a name for this character. Wow, look at that. Apparently using the nickname in enough of these games has finally made it an automatic Toxrox. Okay. That works, that works. Alright, so one thing I know is that this game has like 4 female characters, and my voice can get pretty high, but I'm probably going to suffer throughout a lot of this, so I have some water here with me, just in case. I'm going to be trying to do all these different voices. I'm not going to do all of them high-pitched, but one of them specifically is going to be wild. Okay, so we're gonna try this. Hey! I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me.
I overslept again! But I caught you this time!
Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you.
You say that you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Toxrox.
Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something.
Fine, fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to.
Whatever you say, Sayori. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute.
By the way, Toxrox, have you decided on a club to join yet?
A club? I told you already, I'm not really interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either.
That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year.
Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of the many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. This character is me. We have done it.
Uh-huh. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now, but I'd die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world.
Is this going to be one of those series where I have a stroke reading? Yes.
You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you.
Alright, alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though.
Will you at least promise me you'll try a little?
Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that.
Yay!
Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. Music is freaking killing it, though. Digging the xylophone, I'll be real with you. Anyway, the school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Represent.
Hello?
Sayori. Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom.
I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed.
You don't need to wait up on me if it's gonna make you late for your own club.
Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know...
Know what?
Well, you could come to my club.
Sayori,
Yeah?
there is no way I'm going to your club.
Meanie.
Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title Vice President. How many times am I going to read the word club in this game? That's my question. Can we get a counter on that? That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club.
Come on, please.
Why do you care so much anyway?
Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything.
Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine. I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay?
Yes, let's go.
Sayori just doing what every Twitch streamer does whenever they have an awesome moment, just like, let's go! And thus today marks the day that I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school that I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door.
Everyone, the new member is here.
I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the literature club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you.
Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere.
Oh, Talks Rocks, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls.
What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it.
Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori.
You can just ignore her when she gets moody.
Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back toward the other girls.
Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy.
I can tell.
And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club.
Don't say things like that. Aww. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you.
And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right?
That's right. It's great to see you again, Talks Rocks. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. I feel that, I relate. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica.
Come sit down, Talks Rocks. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them! I'll get them! Sorry, I got a little too excited.
Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there's one space next to Monica, and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri are over in the corner of the room, where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand.
Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Oh, whoa!
Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with the icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears.
So cute!
I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki.
And, well, you know. Just hurry and take one.
Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I follow. Sayori talks with her mouth full. Sorry, managed to get icing on her. I'm not even lying. I didn't know that line of dialogue existed where it talked about her face, like her mouth full and stuff, and her face being covered in icing. I was just gonna make it sound like any person talking in this point sounds like that. I'm gonna do it for myself too. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki.
Why are you thanking me? It's not like I...
Haven't I heard this somewhere before? I know where I've heard this.
I'm not a dere, soon dere.
You are a dere, soon dere. Okay.
Made them for you or anything?
I thought you technically did. Sayori said...
Well, maybe. But not for you, you dummy.
Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom?
Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book?
I guess.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not...
Insulted, Yuri looks away.
I meant that,
I believe you. Well, tea and reading, it might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea.
I'm glad.
Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me.
So what made you consider...
Oh god, I'm keeping, flipping between the voices.
So what made you consider the literature club?
I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori really seemed happy here, so...
That's okay, don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it is my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. I mean, weren't you the leader of the debate club last year?
Well, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader.
Yuri also nods in agreement. But I'm surprised there aren't more people in this club yet. Must be hard to start a new club.
You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah. We'll do our best. You know it!
Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were also suddenly delighted. They were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. I mean, I guess I could have said the same thing, but friggin' different voices and so much reading will make you die on the inside like I am. Though, I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature.
So Toxfrux, what kind of things do you like to read?
Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but keeps quiet.
Not much of a reader, I guess.
Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri?
Well, let's see.
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger.
My favorites are usually novels that build a deep and complex fantasy world. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive.
Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people.
But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately.
I read a horror book once. I desperately tried to grab onto something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri may as well be having a conversation with a rock.
Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror! Oh, why is that? Well, I just...
Natsuki's eyes dart to me for a split second.
Never mind! That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And give that back! Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are.
Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders.
I'm not cute!
She is very cute. Cutest member of the club, 100% already. Natsuki, you write your own poems?
Well, I guess sometimes. What do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No!
Natsuki averts her eyes.
You wouldn't like them.
Ah, not a very confident writer yet.
I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have a writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri.
I thought that was Monica reading for a second. I guess it's the same for Yuri.
Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems.
We all sit in silence for a moment. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I have an idea, everyone.
Natsuki and Yuri quizzically look at Monica.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it! Plus, now that we have
Doki Doki plus.
Now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Tox Rocks?
Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem.
What's that?
Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join in this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes.
But, I'm sorry, I thought... Tox Rocks.
You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up.
Yes, I'm so happy!
Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey!
You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came by for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club.
Thanks, I guess.
Okay, everyone. I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share.
Monica looks over at me once more.
Tox Rocks, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food.
Hey, Tox Rocks, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together?
That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she's always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well.
Yay!
With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess it starts with writing a poem tonight. Okay, it's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Alright, jump. Boop. Romance. Flying. Kawaii. I barely saw that. I almost skipped over it completely. I was like, oh, I want to get as many weeb terms as I can in here. Valentine. Cute. Oh, Natsuki likes the cute things. Alright, I know what I'm going for then. Pink. Nibble. We are going for the Natsuki route. We're doing it. Sing? No, that's Sayori. Puppy. Oh, that also works. Apparently I couldn't go to the left for some reason. Happiness. Okay. Summer. Bliss. Nightgown. Marshmallow. Oh. Doki, Doki! Anime. I saw that. Fireflies. Lollipop. Okay. So it's between Sayori and, Natsuki. I don't know why. God, Yuri is a complex person, I guess. I've already forgotten the voice I gave you, oh god. Hi again, Toxrox. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Toxrox. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature club... kill me. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it.
Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join a club any clubs this year.
God, I'm gonna die.
And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga.
Manga is literature!
It is.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat.
Don't worry, guys. Toxrox always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable.
Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once.
Is that so?
You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous.
How come? You and Toxrox can become good friends too.
Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into.
Oh, Yuri, you even brought something special. You brought it.
Yeah, my god, this is worse. I'm bad at reading, apparently.
Oh, Yuri even brought you something, you know.
But wait, Sayori.
Me?
Not really.
Don't be shy.
It's really nothing.
What is it?
Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it really is not. What do I do?
I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking.
I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. I gotta stop assuming what the next word is gonna be. I just keep like jumbling up words right now because the way I'm recording this is still I don't have a capture card. We're just doing this most like broken setup. Anyway. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much? Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. So Yuri and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is buried in a book. I can't help but notice the intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around the closet. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there?
Freaking Monica! She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up?
Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books across the shelf. Manga?
You read manga, right?
Sometimes. Manga is one of those things you can't admit you're really into until you figure out where the other person stands. It's fairly true. How did you know, anyway?
I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face.
What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack.
There it is!
Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Okay.
Ah, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world.
I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box she's admiring. Parfait Girls. It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible.
If you're gonna judge, you can go do it through the glass on that door.
She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything.
It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Tox Rocks. Consider this a lesson straight from the Literature Club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact...
Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box.
I'm gonna show you exactly why.
She shoves the book right into my hands. Ah! I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. Is this a magical girl manga? Is that what we're reading? Is that... Okay, fine. It's exceedingly moe. It's a magical girl manga.
Don't just stand there.
Ooh, ah. Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat.
Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that.
Why's that? I guess it is easier to be close together like this.
Don't just say that. You make me feel weird about it.
Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am.
Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning?
You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then?
Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention?
I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. Looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Typical slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there going to be a plot?
Well, obviously. You think I want to enjoy something that doesn't have a plot? I mean, well, I guess I know what you're saying. A lot of the beginning is about simple things. Like there's a really funny chapter where they're obsessed with this guy at the ice cream shop. But that just helps you to get to know the characters. And besides, it's still entertaining. But later on, there's all kinds of drama, like when they get into all their backstories and when some of the romance starts to happen. That's really what makes it so good. There's so many touching parts.
Ah, is that so? Sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you.
Hey, wait! What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, Natsuki gives me a little shove. I just meant that I haven't yet seen you at your full power.
Good save.
This chapter seems like it's about baking. This is just a guess, but is there a lot of baking in this manga?
Well,
Natsuki pauses for a moment as if she doesn't want to admit something.
yeah. What does that matter?
It doesn't, I was just curious. Since you enjoy baking too, right?
That's just a coincidence. I just happened to get into baking around the time I got into this manga. Like I wouldn't ever get into anything because it's in a manga. I feel bad for anyone that impressionable.
Okay, Natsuki's doing the thing that I do a lot, which is I'll take characteristics of like people from manga and anime, and I'll somehow add that to my everyday life. It's not a bad thing. If anything, it makes you take up new hobbies that are actually pretty good for you. Definitely not a coincidence. I guess that explains Natsuki's interest in baking. Still, of all the hobbies to pick up from a manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. Yeah, for example, you could be reading a friggin' murder manga. I want to take up the knife. Not to mention she's really good at it, so who am I to judge? Ooh, this is cute. Hold up. Thumbnail. Okay, we read on for a few more minutes. I finished a couple of chapters at this point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you?
It's not.
Even though you're just watching me read?
Well, I'm fine with that.
If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't?
That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know.
What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends?
Could you not rub it in? Jeez.
Ah, sorry.
I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga's for kids. I can't even bring it up with them being all like, you still haven't grown in it yet.
Doing a mocking tone in her voice is... Ugh. God, kill me.
Makes me want to punch them in the face.
Ugh, I know those kinds of people. I do. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated towards the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Wait, which part?
I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know what my dad would do if he found this.
What, would he destroy your manga collection?
At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica was kind of being a jerk about it. Look, I just can't win, can I?
Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it.
Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems.
Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right?
So? Jeez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what?
Yeah. I flipped the page. Suddenly, Natsuki starts laughing.
I totally forgot that happens.
Natsuki puts her finger on one of the panels.
Minori is my favorite character. You always feel a little bad for her since she's so unlucky. But it gets especially bad when... I shouldn't be talking about that yet. Just finish this chapter.
Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. My voice sparkles with gravel. That's what it's becoming. The more I do hype, like, here's the thing, I can do a low, like, really gravelly voice, and my throat would be fine. Doing those higher pitches, when my voice is naturally a little bit lower, it sucks. Anyway. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone, or in my case, it's the same tone as her normal voice, because I can't do anything else. But if she's not used to sharing her favorite manga with her friends, I can understand why. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when connecting with someone like that. And being able to provide that to Natsuki, for whom it's a rare experience, the thought makes me smile a little to myself.
Okay, everyone.
Eh?
Are you all ready with today's poems?
Oh, come on! Could your timing be any worse?
Sorry. I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you do look pretty cozy over there.
Eh? Ah!
Natsuki suddenly notices how close she's gotten to me. She hastily slides herself a good 12 inches away from me. Alright. Guess I'll stop here for now. I close the book and hand it towards Natsuki.
You're just giving it back? Don't you want to know what happens?
Yeah, but Monica just said...
Don't be dumb. Just take it home with you.
Eh? Is that really alright? I say that mostly because I didn't plan on using my spare time to read this.
Well, of course. It would take forever to finish if you didn't take it home. Just finish that one before tomorrow so we can start the next one. And if it gets bit, I'll kill you.
By tomorrow. I only got part way through the volume so far. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose that's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. That's a fair trade-off, I'll be real with you. I read a manga called Parfait Girls. Dan Salvato, can we get a official Parfait Girls Volume 1? I don't want like a box set. You don't have to do that. It might be too much work, but like, can we get one volume? That'd be pretty cool. Or am I more scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? She'll beat you up. Alright then. I stand up. I return to where I put my stuff and carefully slip the book into my bag.
By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night?
Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before, so I looked up a poem on Google and I copied and pasted it.
Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with?
I can't wait.
Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf from her spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. I slowly pull out my Google Docs printed sheet of poetry that I found on Google. Anyway, I think this is a good spot to leave this episode. We will share our poems in the next one, and we'll just continue on from there. So, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you want to stick around and see more, hit the subscribe button. Ring that little bell for notifications to know when I post my next video. And I'll see you on the next one. And remember, guys, rock on!